Yo, this dude's like one of the only people that can make a crazy dope hip-hop album, then go back and make 3 movies, 2 TV shows, write a book, become an activist, and then come back and do this shit again. This motherfucker's crazy. What's going on, everybody? It's the Granddad of Granddad Wooly, and you are here again for another edition of CD Case Studies. Today, we're going into the book and talking about one of my favorite artists of all time, true MC, true legend, straight out of Chicago, where I'm from. Well, I was born there, but I was raised in Indiana. But goddamn it, it's close enough I can claim the shit. But this dude's got 20 years in the game, straight up classics under his belt, and he's now a bona fide star. He's doing movies and TV and fucking making books and activism shit. He's just all over the goddamn place, but he is still dope when he wants to get up on that mic. We are talking about the one, the only, Common. So we're gonna go up in the book right here and talk about some of my favorite albums from Common and pretty much just tell you a little bit of stories from here and there about how I really got into Common. So now, here's the thing, y'all. The first time I really got like a knowledgeable taste of Common is back in 2002 when he did his Electric Circus album. I remember I was at my uncle's house and BET was on, and then the video for his song Come Close came on and had Mary J. Blige, and then I remember the video where he had like the cue cards and shit because I think the girl he was trying to talk to was like deaf or something, but the song wasn't like that great. It wasn't really that memorable to me. So I was like, I guess it's cool. And I really didn't realize it was Common, the same Common who made, like, it was back in the day. But I was like, it's Common, but he seems a little different, so I passed on the shit. So fast forward to like 3 years later, and I'm in Atlanta now, and I'm watching BET Rap City. If you don't know what Rap City, not Rap City like the rapper, it was actually a show called Rap City. And it was a dope ass show. I wish they still had the shit. I don't know. I don't watch BET anymore, but like that was the shit back in the day. But they would play like a lot of dope music videos, and they ended up playing the music video for Common's song The Corner. And I was like, this shit was fucking crazy dope because it was produced by Kanye West. Common came back. He signed with Kanye West's new label, Good Music. I think he was actually one of the first signees to Good Music because Good Music was like brand fucking new at that point, and it was off this album right here, which is the first Common album that I ever bought because that song was just so goddamn fire. And we are talking about none other than B. And there you go right there with that clear ass fucking silver ass CD shit. Fuck it, I don't give a fuck at this point. Talking about B. And this shit came out in 2005, the same time I found out about the goddamn album. And this shit right here is, I have to say, is one of Common's best albums he's ever fucking put out. This shit is a goddamn classic to me. 11 tracks, most of them produced by Kanye West, but there was also some J Dilla production on here. But the production on here was just so goddamn good on this motherfucker. I mean, you had songs like The Corner, Testify, excuse me if you testify. Yo, that was my shit. And that video was crazy too. But it also had Go with John Mayer. They had The Food. They had the live version that they did on the Chappelle show. They put that shit on there. They had, oh my, it's just so many dope. B, of course. I mean, it's so many dope fucking tracks. The whole album is a classic front to back. Not a flaw in this goddamn album. And I gotta say that this album is what resurrected Common's career. I have to say Kanye West is responsible for the resurrection of Common's career on the rap side because after Electric Circus, Common went like dead pretty much for 3 years. He had some features here and there, but nobody was checking for him. But when this shit dropped and the hype that it brought, because Kanye West was on fire at that point, and then Common just sounded new and revitalized, it was just fucking crazy. This album actually went fucking gold, which is really fucking dope. And it just was an album that was like one of the best of the goddamn year. I think it actually got a XXL classic rating in XXL magazine because it was that fucking dope. But this is like literally one of my favorite albums from Common. I can still play this shit to this day. It's just so much to it, so many layers to it, so many great moments on this album. And if you've never heard of B by Common, you are fucking up because I gotta say, out of his whole discography, he's got a thick one, this is one of the most standout albums I've ever heard from him. Point blank period. And I've heard all his albums, but this shit right here, something special about this goddamn one here. The next album I'm gonna talk about is the one that Common dropped after B, and he just kept that momentum going, and he dropped another great fucking album. I consider this one B Junior, but it's actually called Finding Forever. And this shit dropped in 2007, and it's pretty much like I said, like it's like B's offspring. It's not like as great as B, but it's goddamn, it's pretty fucking close to being as good as that fucking album. And just like B, it's mostly produced by Kanye West. It's got some Dilla production on there, but it's also got some production from will.i.am and Devo Springsteen. And this one is just a 12 song. It's pretty much like it's like B part 2. Like I said, it's a continuation of that momentum and that vibe that B gave off. And there's so many dope tracks on here. You got Start the Show, The Game, Driving Me Wild, Southside, shit, I mean, fuck, there's so many dope songs on here. It's the whole goddamn, So Far to Go. There's a lot of dope features on here. He had Lily Allen, Kanye, D'Angelo, Bilal. That nigga Bilal's on everything. DJ Premier has some scratches on here. It's just some fucking dope ass album, and I think this is probably as close to being as perfect as B as he could have got without being just as perfect as B. But I think between these first two good music albums that Common dropped, he was just on a roll. He has a new revitalized momentum, and he just really just put out two great fucking albums. And then, y'all, something happened. I don't know what happened, but something happened. In 2008, Common came back again, and he dropped another album. And it was called Universal Mind Control. It's right here. And he dropped the song Universal Mind Control. It was produced by Pharrell. It was a cool little catchy song. It was cool. I was like, okay, I like it. It's a little different, but it's cool. So I was like, yeah, I'll go ahead and buy this album. Common, they ain't failed me yet. Two great albums back to back. He going for the goddamn hat trick. And then I found out that this is all produced by the Neptunes. Like, Kanye had a little something on here, but it wasn't like the last two albums. So I was like, okay, Neptunes, I mean, they had clips and, you know, they did some good stuff. This can't be bad. And then I got the album, y'all, and I popped it in. I bought it at Target, I remember, and then I popped it in my car, and I listened to it, and the first song was Universal Mind Control. I was like, cool, dope song. I heard it before, but as I was listening to this album, I realized that this ain't no B, and this ain't no Finding Forever, and Common, I was a little disappointed. I was like, you went all the way left. You pulled some Electric Circus shit with this shit. And I was like, Common, what the fuck you do that for? Why you mess up? You could have hat trick, nigga. You should have hat trick before you do this shit. So this album is cool. It's not, I mean, it grew on me a little bit, but it's nowhere near as good as B or Finding Forever. And that momentum, he kind of like just went off the rails. But it had a couple decent tracks on there. Of course, Universal Mind Control. Announcement was dope. Punch Drunk Love was cool with Kanye West. But for the most part, this album just, it didn't do it too well for me, Common. It was like, you knew you fucked up with that one. So, I mean, hey, you tried something new. You was like, yo, I'm doing good, but let me try some extra shit. And you shouldn't have went that route. But it's cool. I mean, I bought it. I still supported it. But I wasn't too happy with my support on this one. But I was like, it's all right. You can't be fire all the time. You can't drop fire all the time. I even say it to myself. And plus, he came back 3 years later with The Dreamer and The Believer, which was actually a really good fucking album. So I wasn't too mad after that shit happened. But you know what? Hey, this one, it was there, but we just don't want to acknowledge it too much, all right? Comment, we ain't gonna do that. It was just put that right down there, okay? We're gonna do that. But that's gonna do it for today's CDK studies, y'all. Hope you enjoyed me talking about some of my favorite albums from Common. Oh, wait, hold the fuck, what the hell is wrong with me? I forgot. I do got one more Common album, and this one right here, unless you a true Common fan, you ain't even gonna recognize what it looks like, but I'm gonna show you right here. Boom, boom. Right here. I'm gonna tell you what it is, but like if you're a true Common fan, you already know what this album is. But this is Like Water for Chocolate. Now this is his year 2000 album that he dropped, and it contains one of the greatest hip-hop love songs of all time. I'm talking about The Light, produced by Jay Dilla. And actually Dilla did the majority of the production on this entire fucking album, and it's all fucking dope. But it's also production here from Primo, D'Angelo, Questlove came in, did some things on the drums, you know, Kareem Riggins on up in here, and it's just got a lot of great songs on here. Of course, The Light. You also got Time Traveling and Heat and The Questions and The Sixth Sense, which I actually made a song of my own over the Sixth Sense beat. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but I made it, and it's kind of cool. That's not bad, but look up More Nonsense, that's all I'm gonna say, but it's decent. But it ain't no Common levels, but you know, hey, shit happens. But this is a classic album in its own right as well. This probably in his discography, I had to say it's easily top 5, probably even top 3. I'd have to say, because it's pretty much one of his most impactful albums, not only critically, but just, I mean, it had the fucking light on there, and that's, whenever that song, everybody knows that song when it comes on, and that JD beat that's that smooth, and as a time, I'm gonna stop singing, I can't do it, I'm not gonna fuck up Dilla's beat, and I'm not gonna fuck up Common's song, fuck it. But, if you haven't heard this album either, I can't believe I almost forgot to mention this album, check this one out too, get that shit. But that's gonna do it for today's CDK studies. I hope you enjoyed me talking about some of my favorite albums from Common. He is one of my favorite MCs of all goddamn time. He is constantly putting out great work. Sometimes he goes off the rails. I mean, we do it sometimes as artists, but he didn't do it too often. He's kind of learned his ways, but like now we waiting for his next album. Nobody's Smiling. The last time he dropped in 2014 was really dope. I really hope the next thing he drops, I mean, he's probably doing a movie. He was in Suicide Squad lately. I saw him up in that motherfucker trying to be a thug and shit. I was like, Common, you ain't fooling nobody, nigga. You nice as hell. I already know. But we gonna see what he got coming up next. Hopefully, we got something coming up because, you know, whatever he drop, most likely it's gonna be some dope, very, very lyrical, very, very socially aware, great music. unless he wants to do another Universal Monarch. Don't do it, Common. You don't need that in your life right now. You don't fucking need that shit. Previous videos on the side some fucking where, as well as my latest single. Check that out, show us some love. And as always, Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud, Instagram. Links in the description below. And subscribe. Button on the screen, button below. CD case studies twice a week, as well as Willie reviews. Check that shit out. And my gaming channel. And if you're an indie artist or indie anything, you want your shit spotlighted, info below. And I got nothing more to say. So until next time I take my leave, Granddad, Common, the CD case studies, the dude is a legend. And he's got so many great fucking albums under his belt. And sometimes he drops an album that, you know what? He's great. And that's what we're going to remember him by. I'm out of here.